7, 6, 5, 4, 3, 2, 1.
You'll never have the sacred stone.
All right, and welcome into another edition of the Vegas Squares podcast. It is the weekend, which means it's our NFL picks show. It is week 7 in the NFL, and we've got special guests back with us for the second week in a row, the celebrity guest picker from Mike Said It First. You can catch him on 12 Ounce Sports every Tuesday evening and Sunday morning. Mr. Michael KARVELIS. What's up, my friend?
What's up, dude? I had such a good week, I had to come back.
Yeah, well, we're happy to have you back because our Tonys are who the fuck knows. And Spike's,
what is going on with them?
Well, I know the Token took a job that makes him work mornings, like early mornings, and of course we record at night, so that's going to make his life a little tougher as far as podcast scheduling. But he still sent in his picks, I believe, correct, Spike?
He did. I have everybody's picks for the contest.
Sweet. So, and Tony Johnson, as far as the knowledge that I have, he is under the weather, is what I've been told. So, is that maybe we put him on the reserve COVID-19 list at this point?
There we go.
Until he has 3 negative tests, he can come.
Curse
back.
the Titans.
Yeah. So, but Spike is here. He was gone. He wasn't with us last week. How was that creek in Utah, or Duck Creek, or whatever it was in Utah?
Duck Creek, Utah. It's a beautiful little small town. It's a lot of fun, actually. Place we went to had no Wi-Fi, no TV service at all. Basically, just one big TV screen with a DVD player and like 300 movies. So we relaxed, we unplugged,
And you smushed
hung
booties.
out. We, fired up the fire pit and ate good takeout pizza that they had up there. So it was a good time. I think the only thing that screwed us up was the people who owned the cabin. We're like, oh yeah, if you need supplies, there's a grocery store just down the road. It's just, it's not too far. Yeah, it's a 45 fucking minute drive down one of these mountain roads that goes like this the whole way down. And we were like,
well, that's just down the road in backwoods Utah. I mean,
just down the road. Okay, fine, yeah, whatever. But no, otherwise it was lovely, and real estate's cheap, so I'm trying to buy us a cabin up there. We'll see if that actually happens.
I will say this. I'm in my early 30s, and 20 years from now, I want to live in where the store is 45 minutes down the road. I don't want anyone around me. So that sounds like heaven and paradise to me. So,
yeah, that was beautiful. Got to get up there.
Yeah. So, all right. Well, I will try. I haven't been to Utah. I want to go play golf up there. I know there's some great golf up there as well. So, all right. So we are in week 7, as I mentioned before. We're going to go shout out to some sponsors here before we recap the standings for the Vegas Squares. Picks NFL, whatever we're calling it. We don't even really have a name for it. The bet of the year. First and foremost, obviously, you can hear us on the 12 Ounce Sports Network, where we are broadcasting in both audio and video formats. Please make sure to check out all the shows, including Mike Said It First, on 12ozsportsnetwork.com. While you're there, we do want you to visit the store, where you can find everything from polos, coffee mugs, beach towels, including the new slogan, "Fill the Cup," which I don't love, but
I don't either.
I don't love it, but I don't want to disrespect it, but I can't say I love it. I don't know how it got the number 1 seed in the picks there, but you can find all the new Fill the Cup merchandise and everything at 12ozsportsnetwork.com. Shop today. Also, our main sponsor, fanatics.com. Please shop our affiliate link. It is located at lvsquares.com under our show sponsors. Please shop using that link. It helps out our show. It helps out the network tremendously. And of course, Vice Golf, which has been rapidly changing the game. There's a new name in golf. They make premium golf balls, premium golf equipment. They sell it strictly over the internet and ship directly to you. No middlemen, no stores, no nothing. The balls are as good as anything I've ever played, and I play a lot of golf. So please use our link also on lvsquares.com in the sponsors tab to support us and support 12 Ounce Sports. We'll get into some other ones. There'll be some ads scrolling across the bottom as we go on here. But Spike, at this current juncture, can you please update the standings for us for the Vegas Squares year-long bet?
Through 6 weeks in dead last place, and the only one of us to have not cracked double digits yet is the host, Aaron, with 9 points. In third place, Fake Token, or Tony Johnson, sitting at 12 points. Token Tony sitting at a remarkable 16 points, given that our motto for the last couple of years has been fade the fuck out of Token. Him sitting in second place is kind of embarrassing, or maybe it's just par for the course for 2020. I don't know.
Yeah.
But I am currently sitting in first place with a remarkable whopping double Aaron 18 points.
Oh, that's it? I
So-
thought you had more than that. I can catch that. Give me a couple.
Oh,
Obviously,
yeah,
he's-
please.
He talks a big game.
Oh, he
let's
does.
see,
But when he's in last, he's real grumpy.
Yeah, I've been last in the fantasy football thing. I don't give a shit
That
about
is
that.
true. Yeah, nobody cares about that. That one's a free league this year, so or
Yeah.
$20 or whatever. So, all right. Well, we do have week 7. We got some surprises. At first, we thought we would have 0 offensive linemen playing for the Raiders this week, and it turns out that's a false alarm. They got flexed out of the Sunday night game, which is unfortunate. I will say this. I have only seen Tom Brady play live as a Patriots fan once in my life, and I was really looking forward. I might have actually I haven't bought tickets to an NFL game in years, and I was actually probably going to spend tickets on this new stadium, and sure enough, we cannot have fans this year. That was the most unfortunate thing. I was actually considering maybe dropping anywhere in the neighborhood of $600 to $800 to go see him, because it might be the last time I get a chance to, and it looks like I might never get to see him again. Spike, would you have dropped the money to go see him? I know it's Tampa and not the Patriots, but would you have dropped money to go see him in the new stadium?
I would have seriously considered it, especially because it is the new stadium. I think that's more of the draw than Brady. But I would have had to see what the prices looked like because, again, like you said, it's Tampa Bay. It's not New England. So maybe.
I'd like to, I'm sorry, I'd like to make a personal apology to Derek Carr. Derek, I know these guys live in Vegas, and that's around Vegas area. It's not because of you, Derek Carr. He wanted to go see your guy who's playing you. That's Tom Brady. So just let you know, Derek Carr, I'm so sorry for Aaron.
I'll tell you what, if Derek Carr wins 6 Super Bowls and becomes a must-buy ticket, I would have no qualms buying one to go see him as well. But at this point in time, Derek Carr is teetering on the brink of, are they wanting to pick up a contract extension on him or not at this point? So we'll see. I actually didn't think he'd make it to Vegas, to be honest with you. I thought they'd draft somebody. I thought they might have drafted Tua with one of those first-round picks this year if he'd have gotten that far. So that's just my personal thoughts on that one. I'm not nothing against Derek Carr, but I mean, look, there's certain things. I spent, before Michael Jackson died in 2009, and we're getting to the games here in just a second. I'm going off on a tangent, but before Michael Jackson died in 2009, he was going on tour. And I spent $3,000 on tickets because I had never seen him before, and I love his music. So there are just some people in different forms of entertainment that you'll spend the money on. And
I give it.
Tom Brady's one of them. I mean, especially if you're a Pats fan, and I've only seen him one other time. Well,
I mean, it's just so
live.
amazing to watch him throw 5 yards behind the line of scrimmage and watch everybody else do the rest. It's a work. It's really a work of art. It really is.
Mike, next time I call you, make sure it rings 6 times, okay?
You know what? Vegas.
You keep pumping that Phillip Rivers train. All right, so let's get into these games. It's week 7. Again, we appreciate you guys tuning in, listening. Catch us on Twitter at Vegas Squares. Again, visit our website to see all of our podcasts at lvsquares.com and check out the sponsors. Please support them so they can continue to support us. All right, getting into it. The hot button game of the week. It's Cleveland at Cincinnati. Okay, maybe not. But that's where we're going to start. Cleveland is a 3.5-point road favorite in Cincinnati with the Joe Burrow show. They may not be winning games, but damn it, they're exciting. The total is 50.5 in this game. Joe Mixon is not going to be playing in this game, guys, and that doesn't bode well to assist a rookie quarterback. But, dude, Joe Burrow's been playing pretty decent this year. I have to give him a lot of credit. I didn't know what to expect of him because of what the 1 year we saw at LSU is, again, just that, the 1 year. Remember when we saw 1 year of Mitch Trubisky? Well, we're still waiting for the second good year out of him. But Cleveland versus Cincinnati, Spike, again, Cleveland at -3.5 against the Bengals.
Yeah, this is sort of a weird spot because I was not on Cleveland at the beginning of the year. I wasn't impressed with what they'd done under what's his name there, the guy from the commercials.
Baker.
Yeah, that's the one. And I just, the beginning of the year, I said I kind of brushed them off, but then, they started winning games and they started doing so in impressive fashion. And I thought that they were a decent team. So last week I actually rode Cleveland pretty hard And then they ran into Pittsburgh, and oh boy, did that not work out well. By the way, fuck you, because I said at the beginning of the year Pittsburgh would be competing for that AFC North title.
You said they'd win it, and then you've like doubted yourself.
I know, and they're sitting pretty right now. They're doing all right, but
Yeah, that one
anyway.
didn't make sense to me. You said they'd win it, and you have faded them, kind of.
I know, and I really have, but no, for this game, like I like what Burrow's doing. He's clearly the future for that team. Certainly an upgrade over the Red Rocket, but it's it's just a spot where I think Cleveland can and probably should win this one. Definitely an interesting take, but saying, "Oh, Baker Mayfield's the better quarterback, therefore he's going to win." But right now he is. I don't think Joe Burrow's really up to snuff quite yet.
Yeah, that's probably a good thing. I mean, last time Cleveland and Cincinnati played this year, it was on a Thursday night. Cleveland seemed to really kind of have a stranglehold on that game, even though Cincinnati did cover the 5. I remember that because I had 5.5, and they won by 5. It was a very unfortunate backdoor cover by Cincinnati, but unfortunately, even though they didn't cover, or fortunately, I guess for Cleveland, they were in control of that one there, Mike.
Yeah, and I actually was watching a show that said the Bengals are like 5 out of the past 6 games they've like covered or whatever, which like makes me a little scared to pick it. Which is why it wasn't on my locks for the week. Baker does have 6 interceptions this year, but I don't know if Cincy can turn it over. So yeah, Brown should win, but I mean I don't know what to think of who's going to win. It really could be the Bengals winning this game, especially with Odell being drama king again, and then Baker being Baker.
Yeah, it seems to me, just to sum this up, is when Cleveland loses hard. I mean,
Yep.
their 2 losses to Pittsburgh and Baltimore, they've got just run over like a truck. I don't see Cincinnati running away with this. I feel like Cleveland can stay in games. Covering the 3.5, it might be fun. It might be an interesting game here. So, all right, Dallas, the Cowboys traveling to Washington to take on the football team. This one, Spike's reaction right there is probably exactly spot on here. I have said this, I guess, for about a week and a half now since Dak Prescott went down. I think Dallas might be okay with Andy Dalton in there because of his experience. But you know what? It doesn't matter what Andy Dalton does. Their defense sucks ass. Their defense is so bad. If you have anybody on Washington's team in fantasy, start them. I don't care if it's Terry McLaurin. I don't care. I don't know who's going to be start. Kyle Allen. I don't care if it's Antonio Gibson. I don't care if it's Art Monk. I don't care if it's Darrell Green. Start these motherfuckers this year or this week. The game is currently at the Westgate. Remember, all lines are provided by Westgate Sportsbook at the time of the recording. This game is a pick'em. And the total is 45. I don't think I can't rely on the defense to stop anything. I mean, I feel like Dallas is over every week. Feels like a lock.
Yeah, I know I'm supposed to talk about this one, but I couldn't give a fuck less, so I'm just going to pass it over to Michael here.
Thank you.
Wait, hold on. I have to say something to Spike here.
What?
How is that NFC West worst division thing working out for you?
God damn it! I was hoping you wouldn't remember that.
The leader in the clubhouse right here is 2-4-1.
Yeah. No, this is. I didn't think the NFC West would be strong. Saying that they were going to be the worst division of football is probably a stretch.
I will not
let
you forget that for 2020, 2021.
Probably could have gotten away from that pick, but I didn't think Arizona was going to be good enough. I thought San Francisco would regress. I have no faith in the Rams whatsoever. And
still,
yeah. Well, they're warming up, but after last year, after that joke of a season they put up last year, I wasn't thrilled with what I saw out of them. But yeah, that's fair enough. But NFC East is clearly the worst division of football.
You will be held accountable for that statement.
Yeah. All right, go.
It'll be 2037, and Spike's beard will be down to his balls, and he will
connected to
right, and he will still be real. He will still be realizing how stupid that statement was. In his defense, though, real quick about the NFC West, 49ers, I mean, they're what, 3-3? Rams,
same, I think.
Rams were the Rams again from last year when they played them on Sunday night, so it's not like it was that they came back down to earth. But for this game, I think a pick 'em in this game is kind of weird, and I feel like Andy Dalton should feel offended. I don't know what offended Andy Dalton means, but I actually think Washington's going to win the game. But I have action on this later in the show. But yeah.
Yeah, it's you know what? I don't want to spend too much more time on this. This is kind of the thank you next kind of game. I mean, I may keep tabs on it and score updates, but I'm really kind of rooting for Andy Dalton to do well. So I really kind of hope that Dallas does win this game and take back sole possession of first place at 3-4. All right, so Detroit v. Atlanta. Detroit heading down to A-Town. Atlanta 2.5-point favorites. They just got their first win. I called that victory on the show last week. Bet that big. Bet that Atlanta money line big. That was a nice little payday. Even if it's not working for me in our bet, I'm going to use these victories to pay you all off, I guess, at this point. Atlanta 2.5-point favorites against Detroit, who walked into Jacksonville and handled the Jaguars last week. Total in this game, 55, down from 56.5 when it opened up. Initial thoughts for me, I like the way Detroit's playing football. I mean, I know it's against some less than stellar teams. They walked in, they beat Arizona in their home. They're doing it quietly, and they're stuck in the division, obviously, that they're probably have no chance of winning, even though Green Bay lost last week. Atlanta's on that high. I talked about it last week. Getting a new coach, you kind of want to play hard for him for 1 week. But let's not forget, this team is just – I'll say it again. I don't think Matt Ryan's very good. And he's going to be in the hall of lots of stats for a really long time. But going this week, initial thoughts, I think Detroit can walk in there and beat them as well.
Yeah, and that's kind of where I was looking at was the total for this game, because this seems like two teams that can just put up video game numbers at times, and I just don't know how the other one stops them. We're looking at a Falcons team that, after they fire their coach, all of a sudden they put up 40 on a Vikings defense that really isn't that bad. And Detroit, I don't think they put up, what's their lowest total of the year? Like 29, 26? Like
somewhere around there, yeah.
I mean, they're both putting up these kinds of mid to upper 20s type games. That total looks like it should be a little bit higher than that. I don't know how that number is getting bet down as much as it is. I as much as I want to defend a Boston College guy and try to defend Matt Ryan's honor here, I think you're right. I think if they can't get, they can't turn the ship around, obviously, but if they can't put up a respectable record by the end of the year, I think they got to look elsewhere for a quarterback. And I think Ryan becomes another one of those guys that gets moved to another team. It's just not working out for them in Atlanta. It hasn't been the answer for as long as he's been there. And I think it's time that they got to start looking to move on.
Matt Ryan in Dallas?
Okay, so Matt Ryan in Dallas would be a Super Bowl champion by now. B, I would gladly take Matt Ryan over Phillip Rivers in terms of like the Hall of stats. I would gladly take Matt Ryan as a Colts fan. Number 3, Matt Ryan won NFC Offensive Player of the Week. I don't know what I'm talking about. I believe actually Lions are going to fall flat on their face in this game. I think the Falcons will put up numbers again. I think Lions will actually have a low-scoring total. I think Falcons will win, and I have action on this game as well.
All right. Make a bold prediction. Lions over under 21.5 points.
It's funny that you said I have them at 21.
So that would be the under.
There you go.
All right, fair enough. Yeah, this could be that total could flirt around. That's an interesting one. We talked about the Baltimore, Kansas City maybe touching 100. This game could be 63-60. You never know. Mike doesn't sound like he thinks that way. But all right, Carolina, New Orleans, which has slowly after 6 weeks become a good game, an interesting game here. I mean, you got the Panthers and the Saints. You have the 3-2 New Orleans Saints at home against Carolina, who's 3-3. I don't think a lot of people expected to go 3-3. Mike, I'll call you out on this one again. I believe you were going to bet them to have the worst record in the NFL and have the first overall pick. So we call each other out. The Matt Rule effect, dude. Dude turns shit around immediately wherever he goes. but they are 7-point dogs to the Saints this week. The Saints are going to let 3,000 fans into that Superdome. Woo! But the total's 50 here in this spot. Teddy Bridgewater, I think this is a game that he is motivated. I'm sure he's not loving the fact that New Orleans let him go and paid Taysom Hill. But, I mean, I'm sure he understands it's a business and he got $20 million anyways. But I'm thinking Teddy Bridgewater wants to crush the Saints this week at home and finally when they get fans back here.
I could see it. I mean, it certainly seems like something that he would, or the mindset of a winning quarterback should be the type where he wants to crush the people that didn't believe in him and that let him go. So you would think that he'd be able to do it. Plus the Saints being without Michael Thomas, that's probably going to be something that is that needs to be kept an eye on. I don't know. This seems like a really, really good divisional matchup because we're seeing some shit ones as we just saw with Dallas and Washington. And as we have coming up with Buffalo and fucking the Jets. Can we just relegate the Jets to the CFL and bring up whoever wins the Grey Cup next year and just make them the 32nd NFL franchise? I'm sick of seeing the fucking Jets.
I can dig it.
We'll get to them in a minute. Yeah, this is one of those good interdivisional games, probably one that I'm going to be flipping back and forth between for those morning lines just so I can see how exactly Drew Brees and the Saints offense plays against Carolina and what kind of game plan they put together and whether or not the Saints know enough about Bridgewater's game in Carolina to be able to game plan for him or if he throws in something completely different. So that's really where I think the strategy comes into play and should be a good one.
Mike, let me ask you a question before you touch on this game. Can you name me any wide receiver that got a fat contract that has worked out? Now, I know Mike Thomas has been unhealthy. He missed a couple games due to injury, and then he missed potentially a couple of games due to punching his teammate in the face. But has any wide receiver with a fat contract worked out yet? Antonio Brown, Odell Beckham, Terrell Owens got a big contract a long time ago. I haven't seen any wide receiver contract work out where they got paid. I mean, can you name one?
No, Julio can't score either. To mention some more names.
Julio might be talent-stricken by the environment and the fact that now he has Calvin Ridley. But okay, I mean Julio, I could see, I could borderline, but I haven't seen one actually be successful.
Live up to the contract now.
Yeah, I mean these $20 million wide receivers is unnecessary.
You don't realize he's nice, but he.
Yeah,
that's the closest I can think.
Yeah, that's the stretch I'm talking about. I mean,
exactly.
Not to agree with Colin Cowherd because I don't love doing that very often, but he says it: do not sign $20 million wide receivers. Let them walk.
I'm going to tell you why I agree with that because wide receivers are divas, and the only thing they do is sell tickets. They don't win Super Bowls.
Do they even do that? I'm not dying to see any of these guys.
Antonio Brown just signed with the Buccaneers.
Yeah, but not for $20 million.
Yeah, but I'm saying a guy like him will just sell tickets for no reason, just for a few nice one-handed catches. Maybe it's the Odell effect. I don't know, but it's I don't like the receivers getting big money. And the fact that Michael Thomas is not available and he has a little bit of a history is not good either. Emmanuel Sanders is also not in the game. Not that he wasn't in the game for the past few weeks anyways. They were using him. I do think Panthers win the game 24-21. I'm not going to have any action. I think Teddy Two Gloves gets it done. They almost beat the Bears, and I had the Panthers last week. It's okay. I forgive you, Teddy Bridgewater. I would gladly take you over Jameis Winston and Taysom Hill.
Yeah, I like Teddy Bridgewater too. I thought maybe they'd move on. I thought maybe New Orleans would move on from Drew Brees. I know that's tough to do, but I thought they were going to actually consider it last year.
I know him in Minnesota.
Yeah, I mean he's just quiet. He goes about his business. There's nothing really to him. He's a better version of Tyrod Taylor, in my opinion. So, I have no action on this game too, but I think Carolina's going to win as well. So, all right, Buffalo and the Jets. Speaking of the Jets, there, Spike. Yeah. The line is 10. Buffalo is a road favorite of 10. They could probably make this 20, and people might still feel comfortable laying that. The Jets are. I don't want to use dumpster fire because that's a very big cliche, but whatever a synonym for dumpster fire is, that's what the Jets are. I mean, you can just look that up in the dictionary and see Jets. So the total for this game is 46. We talked about this last week. You guys asked how Adam Gase isn't fired. He will not last this season, but they do not want to have to pay another coach and have an interim. So I don't really want to talk much about this game. Buffalo should steamroll.
Yeah, I mean, we all know that Jets stands for just end their season because they are an atrocious train wreck of a team. They should not exist. Actually, the entire state of New Jersey shouldn't exist, and that includes the Jets. But I'm done with that fucking franchise. Just get rid of them.
So real quick, Sam Darnold will be active in this game, I believe.
Ooh.
Go Flacco, baby.
Now, granted, I'm still of the mindset I would gladly take Sam Darnold over Phillip Rivers. That's week 2 of me campaigning for this. I like Sam Darnold more than Josh Allen. I don't know what that's saying, but like in terms of their draft class.
If you're saying right now, I gotta think you're wrong. If you were talking about during the draft class, I thought Sam Darnold was going to be the best out of the 5 here. I think Josh Allen right now is better.
Yeah.
Well, Josh Allen also has a better team around him, and not Adam Gase as his head coach. Can we be fair?
That's
of course, that's obviously
100% fair. Like quarterbacks can do so much, and he hasn't done enough.
Well, I think we'll find out next year because I think I'm wondering if they pick up his option next year.
I mean, I'll put it this way: if you have Justin Fields and Trevor Lawrence, I'm a Daniel Jones guy. I would gladly take Trevor Lawrence or Justin Fields in any of those teams.
Yeah,
I will vouch.
The Jets are going to ruin them too.
Like I will vouch for not to take too long, but I would vouch for Darnold or Jones. But I'm pretty sure Fields or Lawrence would definitely be on their radar.
If you gave me an option right now, if I'm another team of Jones, Darnold, Lawrence, or Fields, I would take Darnold.
Lawrence is Lawrence is going to be that guy. I promise.
Maybe, but I think
I think
Darnold showed flashes of being able to be a legit NFL quarterback on a better quality team.
Yeah, I mean, I guess I would take Darnold over those 4. Yeah,
you can fall on your face all you want. Darnold has not played terribly. The guy can't stay healthy. He's running for his fucking life, and that's unfortunate. But I think, you maybe put him on a team. Maybe put him on the Falcons. See what he can do with that
Colts.
talent. Yeah, you could say the Colts. I don't know. I think the Colts are going to be in the market for a quarterback, but I think they might be falling. They might be picking in the 20s.
As long as we don't ever start Jacob Eason, I'm just fine.
All right, moving on from Buffalo and the Jets. That was probably too much talk for that game.
I agree.
Green Bay and Houston. All right, I don't know how to feel about this. I think I have jumped ship with Houston. I know 1-5, great time to do it, but I have literally tried to stay on this bandwagon. This team is better than that record indicates.
I told you.
So let me ask you all this: at the end of that game, before overtime, the Texans score a touchdown to take a 7-point lead, and they decide to go for 2. And I've heard basically 75-25 say that was the right move. I cannot agree with that.
It's not the right move at all.
I think you got to go up by 8 there, especially against the Titans. I don't know. It just seemed weird to me.
Wait. You're saying they should have gone for 2, or were you?
I think they should have kicked the extra point to go up by 8.
Yeah, that's fair. That's fair.
75% of the things that people I've listened to said going for 2 is the right move despite the results. And maybe I am results oriented in that, but I don't know. I understand going for 2 isn't as hard as it used to be anymore, but still, I think take the 8. You can't lose. They ended up losing by kicking. I don't know. It was just crazy. But Houston, this is a spot where Houston shouldn't be really competitive in this game. Green Bay is probably going to be pissed coming off a loss. Aaron Rodgers might throw for 400 yards and 5 touchdowns in this game. And it would not shock me. They are 3.5-point favorites on the road. The total's 57. I think this number could touch it. The only thing I'm rooting for in this game right now is Deshaun Watson to play well because I have him in 3 out of my 4 fantasy leagues.
Yeah, well, you kind of stole my thunder there, but yeah, I think we see Aaron Rodgers in what I used to call with Tom Brady, fuck you mode. And I think Rodgers just runs the table and he gets pulled by probably midway through the 3rd quarter because they're up by 40.
Wow.
Yeah, go ahead.
I was just saying, before we even start that conversation, I told you guys Deshaun Watson is on the other side, like Aaron said. So Aaron Rodgers will not be up by 40. I know you're exaggerating, but let's give some respect to the guy who
38.
who can. Wow. Go ahead, just finish up, Spike. Finish up.
No, I mean that's pretty much the point. I don't have faith in Houston, nor should anybody. And I think that we see a Green Bay team that is out to prove that they are better than the 10 points they put up against Tampa Bay last week. And I think that they make Houston their bitch.
Yeah, I mean, the Texans defense, I'm looking at a stat here right now. They 52% of their defensive drives end in a score by the other team, and 36% of that time, 36% of the drives are touchdowns. So, yeah, you're going up against AR-12. It'll be a long day. Deshaun Watson, that's what I'm saying. Garbage time, baby. I'm going to take him in fantasy because he is playing incredibly well. He's got last 2 games, 700 yards and 7 touchdowns. So just keep that aerial game rolling for me. That's all I can really take away from this Texans, because my division bet, I had them at 4-1. That is more than likely out the window with being 1-5 and also losses to the Colts. Did they lose to the Colts? No, they lost to the Titans. Last week. So they lost to the Titans, who are still undefeated at this point. So that's going to be a tough one. All right, Seattle and Arizona is flexed to the Sunday night game, so we'll skip over that. But of course, they put that. They don't really change that here. So let's go to another 10 o'clock game here at Pittsburgh at Tennessee. Speaking of them, this is a game I'm incredibly interested in. 10 years ago, this would have been a very boring snooze fest. Both these teams played great defense and ran the ball a lot. Oh, wait, no, still in 2020, they play great defense and run the ball a lot. So this seems like a snooze fest. Yet the total's 50 and a half, actually. Tennessee, a 1.5-point favorite in this spot. I think this is an exciting game in the early slate here.
I absolutely agree. I think this is going to be the one that I watch while I'm waiting for the New England game to come up later in the afternoon. I cannot wait to see this because I was not entirely sold on Tennessee at the beginning of the year. But I mean, it's a shame that, a team like Miami can't get a quarterback like Ryan Tannehill to lead them to victory like he's been able to do in Tennessee. Because
who was the coach in Miami when Ryan Tannehill was the quarterback?
Yeah. Tannehill almost got ruined by, I guess, he who shall not be named.
Yeah, he got lucky. Yeah, for sure.
Yeah. So no, Tennessee's a great, very interesting team. Pittsburgh's probably the darlings of the AFC this year and the team that everybody wants to talk about. I love this matchup. I can't wait to see this. I think this is going to be very, very interesting, especially with some of the rumblings that we're hearing from the national pundits, and obviously some of them just want to make headlines, but some of them are saying that Pittsburgh is the best team in the AFC.
No.
I know, but I'm saying it is being said by the national pundits.
Okay, so
it's not Indianapolis, I'll tell you that much.
Thanks. So the Titans, I actually do believe will win this game. I believe there's one formula the Steelers have been playing with, because they're not going to be able to stop. I mean, you're not going to be able to outrush Derrick Henry with James Conner. So I firmly believe Steelers feast off of turnovers. And one thing the Titans offense does not do is turn the ball over. There's I'm not saying Steelers cannot win the game without a turnover. I'm saying that's how they win games this year. It's like their defense is just nasty. They force you into a bad spot. And unless they're like facing third and longs all day, Ryan Tannehill is just going to do a little play action. He's going to find his guy. A.J. Brown is questionable. I don't know if that helps the Steelers defense. I still see.
I think that matters.
Yeah, I don't think Tannehill turns it over, though. I feel like Titans win the game because of that.
Well, I think the bigger injury right now at this point, because we know how good the Pittsburgh's defense is, and including the guy up front, T.J. Watt, who's one of the four leading guys for the Defensive Player of the Year again. Taylor Lewan, the left tackle, the protector of Ryan Tannehill, is done for the year with a knee injury. So Derrick Henry better have a good game, because if Ryan Tannehill is running for his life, that is not good for the Tennessee Titans. Tennessee Titans put up 600 yards on offense last week. That ain't happening this week. Definitely not happening this week. So I don't know. I see I see a low-scoring game. Last year they played, or 2 years ago they played, and Pittsburgh won 18-6. So I see another similar spot in that one. So obviously, I don't think we're touching anywhere near 50.5 points. I've been saying, I've said it all off season. Derrick Henry is going to run out of gas at some point.
Yep.
He has proven me wrong week by week so far, and he is pushing guys over like they're little wooden toys. I'm looking at you, Josh Norman. I don't know if you guys remember that in the Bills game. That was pretty funny, and that's going to be the play of the year for me. Just the fact that Josh Norman, who talked so much shit for years, is just getting thrown around like a rag doll. I can't get enough of it. All right, so that is it for the 10 o'clock slate, the 10 o'clock Pacific slate. We are going to go into the late games. We will start with probably the least interesting, the Jacksonville v. LA Chargers game. LA is a 7.5-point favorite. Total is 49. Jacksonville, they started out great, fun by beating Indianapolis week 1, ruining some survivor pools and stuff. But they're definitely regressing to the mean. And, of course, we're all rooting for them to go under that 5 win total so that Tony Johnson can win his fat bet that he's got on them. They are currently 1-5. So they are losers of 5 in a row. Again, the line is 7.5 in this spot. Justin Herbert, you want to talk about a rookie who's playing well right there. That's he has come into a very fortunate circumstance. I'm hoping that LA can really make some noise. Currently, they are losing a lot of very close games, so they got to find a way to finish. But I think Justin Herbert's been playing really well.
Yeah, they're losing a lot of one-score games where Herbert's playing well, whereas the Jaguars, they're not exactly getting their doors blown off, but they don't feel like they're ever in these games, especially the last 4 weeks. Somebody at the beginning of the season said that Jacksonville should be the worst team in the league, and I think by the end of the season they will be. I think this is just another bump in the road for the Clippers there, as they, get through that AFC West, and the Jaguars are just fodder for those cannons right now. But I am curious to see what Herbert does against a team like Jacksonville, because, a couple of years ago, Jacksonville had a hell of a defense. Remnants of that still exist.
Trace remnants.
Maybe.
Okay, so
yeah.
Spike, is that like an inside joke on the show, calling the Chargers the Clippers?
Yes.
That's a great comparison. That's a great comparison.
It's not even a comparison. He just called them the Clippers accidentally.
I know.
Because the Rams and Lakers are obviously that's a great comparison.
Yeah, no, it's just that they have the same abbreviation, the LAC, and one day I got confused and called them the Clippers, and I just haven't stopped.
Yep, now he sticks with it.
Good thing he's got 18 points, right? I've got the Chargers to win the game 27-24. I think Herbert plays well, albeit with Keenan Allen and a really good team around him. I'm not saying he hasn't been good, but he's obviously been inflated. I think he missed a lot of balls against the Saints last week, late in the game. But he's still a rookie. He's impressed me more than I thought he would. I think Chargers won a close one.
Yeah, I feel like I don't want to say any team has ever given up, but I feel like this is the kind of game. Again, 1-4. Herbert needs this a soft defense, get his confidence up. I don't know. I feel like the Chargers win big on this one. So. All right, so let's look at the slate here. We'll talk about Kansas City and Denver. Kansas City going to the Mile High City as an 8-point favorite after controlling, we'll call it, that's the best word I can think of, Buffalo last week on Monday night. The total in this one's 44. When's the last time you've seen a Pat Mahomes game with a total in the 40s? It feels like that's just been a staple. Pat Mahomes on the field, these totals are 50-plus. But Pat Mahomes and the Chiefs have not historically done very well in Denver during the couple years that he's been there, including the game where he got hurt against the Denver Broncos, hurt his knee. Oh, so I'm wondering if that, coupled with the fact that it is going to be incredibly cold and there's a high chance that it might snow in the Denver area this weekend. So that might be where the total is looking really low. But anyways, Kansas City, -8, total 44.
Yeah, well, and I think the other part of that total is that Denver is the second lowest scoring team in the league.
Yeah.
Beating only the Jets right now, and the Jets are woof.
To be fair against they've had some quarterback issues. I think Locke's back now, so.
Oh, sure. No, I get that, and I think that's fine. But I think in the aggregate, you have to look at the fact that Denver, as a team, they're just not scoring at the clips of some of these other teams. I mean, even Pittsburgh, who's just running the ball and playing kind of solid defense, they've got 56 points more than the Broncos do on the season.
Mhm.
So, it's one of those things where it's just if your team's not scoring and your defense isn't playing as well as they should, I mean, obviously Denver beat New England last week, so what the fuck am I saying? But if they're just not putting up 3+ touchdowns a game, this is a team that's not going to put up a lot of points against a team as good as the Chiefs. And even though the Chiefs may hit the over by themselves at some point, you have to think that that line has a lot more to do with Denver than it does with Kansas City.
That's fair.
Well, because I didn't realize about the snow, I had to switch one of my last picks. Well, I still think Chiefs win, but I had to switch a little thing around. So I still have action on this game. It's just not the one that I told you guys before the show started.
All right. Well, question to wrap this game up. What are we expecting out of Le'Veon Bell this week?
Nothing.
Yeah.
He's not going to – I've heard rumblings that he's just not going to – he's not – they're going to kind of use him and not really much, though.
All right. Fair enough.
If you throw him in for 3 plays, I don't know.
All right. San Francisco at New England. West Coast team traveling east. We talk about that all the time. New England, a 2.5-point favorite at home, total 44. New England got a little embarrassed. Didn't give up a touchdown, that defense, and still lost the game 18-12. McManus with 6 field goals last week. New England's – I can't believe I'm saying this with Cam Newton at the helm. New England's offense looks boring and predictable. And it's incredibly unfortunate. Go ahead, Spike.
No, I think that has very less to do with Cam and more to do with the fact that they are a bottom 3 receiving core and the receivers just are not quick enough to get separation. They are getting covered by mediocre secondaries and they are just not getting open so that Cam Newton can't do his thing. So
why don't they just go to the Tom Brady, the dink and dunks and let them – I mean, James White should be catching 12 balls a game.
Well, the problem is that we have Josh McDaniels as an offensive coordinator who should have been fired basically since 2011. And just every year, this stupid motherfucker keeps getting a job and keeps his job with New England. And, New England has 6 Super Bowl championships. They would have had 9 if it wasn't for fucking idiot fucking McDaniels.
Well,
Sick and tired of that fucking moron being on this goddamn coaching staff.
Bring back Charlie Weiss?
Fuck yeah, why not? I don't care. Give me Billy O'Brien. Fucking, he's looking for a job now. He used to be the quarterback's coach. Why not? Fucking get rid of McDaniels. Give me Billy O'Brien.
Strong words. Strong words.
So, you done, Spike?
Yeah, go for it.
All right.
He's done.
Go and drink some water, buddy. Okay, so he really is too. So basically, I do believe Patriots. I forgot we're still in the Patriots game. Okay, yes, we're on the So Patriots win the game. I think 49ers need this really badly.
Yeah, I would agree with that.
49ers they're 3-3, and Russell Wilson might screw around and beat the Cardinals again. We're going to get to that later on, but it's man, that's 49ers look like they're about to have a Super Bowl hangover, which is a totally real thing, more real than the Madden curse.
Well, they got some injuries, man. It's
and that's true. But Jimmy G is not. They don't like him. They don't seem to have faith.
Jimmy G is not the problem. I don't get it.
Hey, not Token. Hey, Spike.
Yeah.
I'm sorry. I apologize for that. This dude said he does not like Matt Ryan, and is not just defending Jimmy G.
They defend him. I don't think he's the problem. I think the injuries on defense are the problem. Giving up too many points. I mean, they beat the Jets. They had a great win against the Rams. I'm a little higher on the Rams than Spike is. But, I mean, let's be real here. They're getting – I mean, Jimmy G's getting them 24 points a game. This defense that was heralded as phenomenal for the last 2 years should not be. They should be winning games. Getting 24 to 27 points should win you most games.
I'm curious, Aaron, who do you think is going to win the game? I don't know if you have action on this later or what.
I do not have action on this. This was probably one of my first ones out. I think New England wins this game by a touchdown.
I had
Actually,
20.
Funny
I had
because you have a pick on
24-17.
this game.
Oh, I do have a pick on this game, but I don't have a pick on the spread. So
I have 24-17 Patriots.
I do have a pick on the total in this spot. So
Cool.
I think the New England wins this game simply based on the West Coast, the West to East thing, and the fact that San Francisco pulled out all the stops to beat the Rams last week in the division game. So, I don't know what it is with this team, with San Francisco. They're a good squad. They're in a tough division, like we've talked about, right, Spike?
Yeah.
And
Yep.
yeah, the Super Bowl hangover might be a thing. I don't know. I'm not defending saying Jimmy G's better than Matt Ryan. I'm just saying Matt Ryan has had a lot more time to prove to me that he's mediocre than Jimmy
That's
G.
fair. Kyle Shanahan, I'm telling you, before we move on, because this is a big game, we might as well talk about it. Kyle Shanahan, by the way they just beat the Rams last week, when everybody thought the Rams were going to win that game, he could screw around and put up a 28-3 piece on Bill Belichick again.
Oh, if New England's offense can't score, you're absolutely right.
I'm just saying, like, if Kyle Shanahan hit a button last week, he might hit it again this week because he does have the number of that man.
Well, I think with the huge injuries on the defensive line, I'm going to call it. I don't know which one, so I'm going to play a little roulette. I'm going to say Damian Harris runs for 125 yards tomorrow.
That's fair.
Or Sunday.
All right.
I don't know. One of the running backs is going to do it. I'm just guessing that it's Damian Harris. One of them's going to.
Spike, put some bet him real quick. Just do it.
All right.
Just bet him $5 that doesn't happen.
Yeah.
That's a horrible bet. He should be laying odds to me. That's a huge thing. A Patriots running back running for 125, that should be huge plus money.
Does Cam Newton count?
He's not running for 125. But I'll say that Cam Newton has 2 over 1.5 passing touchdowns.
That's fair. Oh,
All right.
Okay.
All right, last game on that late slate there is Tampa Bay and Vegas. We talked about them at the beginning. This was a game I would have definitely circled on the calendar to go to because I'm not a big go-to NFL games kind of guy. But Tampa Bay's taking a 4-point favorite advantage into Las Vegas here. The total is 52. The number moved up. When it opened at 2.5, it moved up, I'm sure, based on that report with the offensive line and Jonathan Abram. Now that has been confirmed that it's not true. In other places, it's moved back down to 3. It's held firm at the Westgate here at 4. So I'm curious to see. Again, we record this on Friday night. This game might have some heavy line movement. I'm surprised with the whole offensive line going out. This game didn't come off the board unless it did, and I just missed, for a small window that it did. I don't think it ever did come off the board. It wouldn't shock me if this game maybe does come off the board if the offensive line goes out. I think the only reason it might stay on is because it's Las Vegas, and a lot of the people here in Vegas do bet on Vegas just in general, whether it's hockey or the Aviator. The Aviators got a huge handle the first year. It was crazy from William Hill. We're talking about it. But the Tampa Bay -4 total is 52 in this spot. Brady versus Carr, apparently, according to Mike Carvelis, the next coming of Tom Brady is Derek Carr.
I will say this game did come off the board at William Hill this afternoon. I
thought it might have.
I don't know if it's back or because I haven't looked. But
William Hill is back at 3.
DraftKings doesn't have it though.
Okay. Oh yeah. So yeah, this was one of those that I actually looked at, especially when I heard that the entire Raiders offensive line was going to be out, that I was trying to bet Tampa Bay pretty heavily. Obviously, I couldn't do that with William Hill being down, or the game being off the board at William Hill. But it's still an interesting spot, and I hate to put all the pressure on one guy, but I think the Raiders go as Josh Jacobs go in this game. If he's having a great game, then the Raiders keep it close and they even may win this one. Otherwise, I think Tampa Bay and Tom Brady, because he is showing that he can connect with those receivers. He can connect with Gronk, and now with the signing of AB, Not that I expect him to be used in this game all that much, if at all.
Well, he's still
But
suspended, and he won't be back till week 9.
yeah, well, that receiving core now is just looking stronger and stronger. So I think this is definitely a game where that one player is going to make all the difference in the world for Vegas. So, and which I'm hoping that he has a good game, not necessarily because of the bets or the picks here, but because I do have Josh Jacobs in literally every fantasy league that I'm in.
I have action on this game later on in the show. Much to Spike's dismay, we talked about that pre-show, and I believe Derek Carr and Josh Jacobs are going to make the Buccaneers come back down to earth. I thought Buccaneers were super hyped to play the Packers last week, and I wouldn't be surprised if the Raiders screwed around and kept this one super close.
Yeah, I could see that. I mean, you're right. They got amped up. They wanted to beat the Packers. This feels like kind of a letdown game. And Vegas is scrappy. Vegas just finds a way to be in games. They've had a week off after the big Kansas City victory, and you might still be hyped from that and a week off. I don't know. That does feel like a recipe for a Vegas win, possibly. I don't know. I don't know how I feel about this game. I'm going to watch it with great intensity and excitement, but. Yeah, the Bucs are tough. If they're playing good defense, I don't know if this Tampa team can be stopped.
That's the thing, yeah.
All right, night game got flexed from the Vegas Tampa Bay game to the Seattle Arizona game, which just got good at this point. Seattle and Arizona combined 9-2 this year. I know that Tony Johnson is sweating in Arizona under 7.5 wins, so I'm sure we know who he's rooting for at this point. But Seattle going down to Phoenix here as 3.5-point favorites. Russell Wilson probably at this point would be the midseason MVP. Anybody have any detractions from that?
It would be hard to make that argument.
And the total in this one is 55. So Vegas expecting a high-scoring Sunday night affair between Kyler Murray and Russell Wilson. I'm looking for fireworks in this game. I'm definitely excited to see it, but I think the defenses might shine.
It certainly could be an interesting one. I don't necessarily know that Arizona's defense is up to the challenge of a Russell Wilson-led offense. I think that's going to be because they've looked good against inferior offenses this season. I just don't know how they're going to do against somebody like a Russell Wilson, but I'm happy to watch this one. I think it's going to be a fun, interesting, entertaining game. Two very fun quarterbacks to watch. Two guys that are can definitely get you on the edge of your seat. But I am laying off the action on this one because I think this is just going to be a fun one to watch as an NFL fan. I think this is just a good, wholesome, hearty game, and we can all enjoy ourselves.
Yeah, nothing's better than watching Kyler Murray and Russell Wilson get a smiling contest over who's the nicer guy. I do have action on this game. I believe both okay, so listen, here's the funny thing. Two things. Number one, the Seahawks are allowing like 350 yards passing from quarterbacks a game, which is absolutely 2020 absurd. And number two, Kyler Murray and the Cardinals offense look kind of jumbled at times, like kind of off balance at times against the Cowboys. They still dropped 38. So I do have action if you can tell where I'm going with this. I think Seahawks win. I'll talk about that later.
All right.
Yeah, I think a lot of the situation here is obviously the offenses for both teams have been playing well. Historically, though, this game is very low scoring.
Yeah.
So I'll have to. I mean, last meeting, 27-13, Arizona beat Seattle. I know that there was one game I believe they tied where it was like 9-6 in a game. I remember they were just exchanging missed field goals. There's been a lot of wild games in this series between these two. So I don't know. We'll have to see. Yeah, you're right. The passing defense has been a little suspect in Seattle, but I think we get underwhelmed in this game. Let's say.
So Russell Wilson is 6-1-1 against Arizona. The fact that he has a loss and a tie against Arizona shows you that this could be a low-scoring game.
Yeah, that's fair. So, all right, and the Monday night finale for Week 6 is the Chicago Bears against Spike's favorite LA Rams. His favorite West Coast team.
Lakers.
The Ram it all day, ram it all night. Rams are 6-point favorites against the Chicago Bears. Total is 45 at the Westgate. I hate everything about the Rams laying 6 in this game.
Well, and I hate everything about the Bears this season because every time I've picked them or picked against them, I've gotten it wrong. So I am completely staying off this game because I don't know what the fuck to make of Chicago. I've had these teams in past seasons as well. Indianapolis, I think 2 years ago, where just I couldn't figure them out. Same thing with Cincinnati, probably the year before that. Just sometimes there are those teams that you just cannot figure out. I thought Chicago was going to look a lot better with BDN, and they are marginally better than they were with Trubisky, so I don't know what to make of this team.
That marginally better is winning them games, though. It's crazy.
Yeah, it is winning them games, but is it doing anything against
he
the
wasn't
spread?
winning before. Get out of here.
They're 4-2 against the spread, 3-0 against the spread on the road.
Yeah, but if I decided to pick this one, that streak would end.
They'd get their doors blown in by 4 touchdowns.
Yeah, I'm not. Yeah, just fuck both these teams.
Yeah, I'm off this game too, but I would probably be leaning +6 in this spot.
I'm off the game. I didn't have any action on because of what Spike said. Like I picked the Panthers last week, and literally, I told myself, I said, watch the Bears just win a 1-score game, and I thought it was gonna be a 1-score game the other way, but no. Nick Foles and Matt Nagy decided to pull one out of their butt. That's okay, though. That's okay. They're going to come back down to earth. Matt Nagy is quoted as saying we're winning a lot of 1-score games, which is the dumbest quote you could ever say, which means we're almost losing. But dang, there's something about this team. Get out of here.
But you know what? If I win every game by 1 point, I'm 16-0, brother. So
Man, you know what?
You know how hard it is to win the NFL, much less cover spreads? It's crazy. We can complain all we want. It's so hard to win in the NFL. Ask Adam Gase how hard it is to win in the NFL right now.
Listen, Adam Gase has more things to worry about, like cocaine lines, than he knows about betting lines.
Fair.
Oh, real quick, Aaron, how much time do we have left? Let's make sure.
We got time.
Okay. I have a little challenge of I have 3 coaches. One of them is no longer a coach, but Spike was vouching for him earlier, which is stupid. Bill O'Brien, Doug Marrone, and Adam Gase. Who is the best coach out of that group? Is there a definitive answer?
Best overall head coach?
And then who's the worst? Is Doug Marrone?
I mean, Doug Marrone and Blake Bortles went to an AFC championship. You got to say it's Doug Marrone, maybe.
That's fair.
But I've always, I don't know, Bill O'Brien he was the GM, so he made stupid decisions that negatively affect him, but still won division title. So I don't know.
Bill O'Brien as a GM might have been the stupidest move I've seen in a long time in NFL.
Just to see the bags of chips he got back for these players he traded, it just never made sense to me. So, all right, let's move into the picks. And so what we'll do is, Spike, since you have the other 2 guys, the Tony's picks, I will go first since I'm in last place.
All right. And
so I'll give you my picks here. All right, so everybody get your pens out because you're going to need to fade me because I have, 9? We've got 6 weeks, so I'm 9-21 right now. So if you're fading me at this point, you are definitely paying your mortgage, I guess. All right, so let's start here. We've got the Buffalo Bills. We're going to lay the 10, move it to 10.5 because that's how we roll in this contest. Thanks, Mike. I'm going to take the Clippers. Like I said, I think Justin Herbert gets the cupcake defense that he needed at 1-4. I'll lay the 7.5. I think Cincinnati gets a win, but we don't bet money lines here, so I'll take +3.5 against Cleveland. You're right. I did have a bet on the San Francisco-New England game. It is over 44.5. I think a lot of people are going to see that game against New England and Denver last week. And I think this total gets into the 60s.
I agree with that.
And then the Sunday night game, I will take the under. It was 55. I had to move it to 54 and a half. So I will take under 54 and a half.
That line moved, huh? Because I had you as under 55 and a half.
I know. It moved a whole point since I sent you those damn things.
All right.
It's unfortunate, but I have to take it. I have to take it where it's at right now. I did when I clicked it, when I put it in, I was 55 and a half. It's no longer there.
All right, fair enough. So I'll need you to audit these lines from the tokens as well.
Okay.
As we're going through them to make sure that they're
Fake token.
that they're still accurate. So we will start with Tony Johnson on the Cincinnati and Cleveland game. He agrees with you. Cincinnati plus the 3.5.
Okay.
With Houston and Green Bay, he's taking Houston plus the 3.5.
Poor soul.
Wow.
Seattle and Arizona plus 3.5. He is all dogs this week,
I don't hate that.
including Jacksonville plus 7.5 against the Clippers. Final game, he's got a total. He is looking at Pittsburgh and Tennessee. By the way, Aaron, you are the only one of us not on Pittsburgh and Tennessee this week.
Okay.
He is Pittsburgh versus Tennessee. He's looking at under 50.5.
That's,
All right,
I agree. I completely agree with that. Yeah.
All those lines are fine according to my auditing.
Here we go. And for Token Tony, he is disagreeing with you on the total on Seattle and Arizona. So that is 54.5 now? If he's taking the over?
It's 55, so he's got to go 55 and a half.
55. So it's going to end right at 55. Both of you lose. I love this scenario. This is great. All right.
This dude.
He's on Pittsburgh and Tennessee. He's taking the Steelers plus the 1.5.
Okay.
He's got Tampa Bay and Vegas. He is looking at over 52.5.
Okay.
Carolina and New Orleans. He's taking the Panthers plus the 6.5. And Detroit and Atlanta. He is over 55.5.
All good.
And for mine, I am also on Detroit and Atlanta over 55.5. And given that Token and I are pretty much in sync this year, I think that one's pretty much a guarantee. I think
That was weird.
Buffalo and the Jets, I am taking under 45.5 because I could easily see a scenario where the Jets get completely shut out.
They did last week. They're the only team to get shut out so far.
Tampa Bay and Vegas. I put in this bet when I thought that the Vegas offensive line was going to be in, and now I'm just too stubborn to change it. So I'm going to roll with Tom Brady and Tampa Bay at minus 4.5. Pittsburgh and Tennessee, I'm also taking the Steelers plus the 1.5. And then Cleveland at Cincinnati, I got to suck it up and go with Baker Mayfield and those Browns minus the 3.5. And we will see how this goes. But if this season has been any indication, then you should bet with me and fade the fuck out of Aaron.
That's true. You're coming up roses so far. All right. Celebrity Picks. Michael Carvelis from Mike Said It First. You can catch his shows Tuesday night and Sunday morning on the 12-ounce sports streaming platforms. You said you went 3-2 last week. You looking for a replication of that or better? And Spike missed.
No, I got it.
Oh, okay, fair enough. All right, Mike, let's see what you got here, brother. Week 7 picks.
Okay, and again, the reason I had to come on the show was not because I wanted to enjoy the time. I really wanted to show these guys up again. So 3-2.
Maybe you might be the Vegas Sharp and we're the Squares.
I am the fifth corner of the Vegas Squares.
You're the fifth
I
wheel.
made that up on the spot. Okay, you guys are gonna really be surprised by these. Okay,
All right.
Cowboys in the Washington redacted under 45, which means 44.5.
Correct.
Lions, Falcons. I've got Falcons with a 2.5.
Okay.
Seahawks, Cardinals. I've got over 55, which means 55.5.
Mm-hmm.
Bucks, Raiders. Spike, you love me.
Yeah.
I'll take Vegas 4, which means it goes to 3.5.
Yep.
And finally, I almost changed this to the under because of the snow, but I'll stick with my gut, which is pretty big. Chiefs 8, which becomes 8.5 against the Broncos.
All right, wrap up the show here. Of course, we've got the William Hill 14.14 teaser.
Oh, God.
I am going to – all of the 4 teams are going to be based on my picks that I have already given you. So let's go ahead and get that in before we wrap up the show here. I am going to take Buffalo to a plus 3.5 here in this spot. Spike, make sure you're taking notes. If Buffalo loses this game, I quit. If Buffalo can't cover plus 3.5, I quit. I am also moving the San Francisco and New England game to over 30.5.
All right.
I will also be moving Cincinnati to a plus 17.5 point favorite. And I will move the Clippers to a plus 6.5 point favorite.
All right.
Or excuse me, plus 6.5 point dog at that point. So again, Buffalo plus 3.5, Clippers plus 6.5, Cincinnati plus 17.5, and San Francisco, New England. We're going to move that total down to 30.5 and take the over in that spot.
And that was the wrap-up presented by Trojan.
Jeez, can't say it. Maybe they'll hit us up, but we do have a couple more sponsors to give you. We obviously are here on Zingo TV. Zingo TV is a streaming service on your iPhone, Android, Smart TV, Roku stick, etc. Please use promo code 12OZ when signing up for a new account. It is 100% free. Also, Wicked Cuts Jerky, which they just came out with a couple new flavors, Carolina Reaper and Savory Buffalo Chicken, which I've tried that one. It's pretty good, actually. Our newest golf sponsor on our golf podcast is InTheHoleGolf.com, where you'll find the latest and most innovative golf clubs, training aids, practice equipment, GPS systems, and much more. InTheHoleGolf.com. Describe your game to the pros. DC4L Custom Tees and Pro-Am Customizations and Chai Poker. We're all scrolling on the bottom of the screen. We love them. We want you to support them. But we are running out of time, so that's it for us. For Token Tony and Tony Johnson, who are not here, and Spike and whatever the fuck the Stay Puft Marshmallow is doing over there. I am Aaron. We appreciate you listening. We are out.